Hello everybody and welcome back to The Hobby Musician. You're joining us on a very exciting day because this is the first episode in our new and most current building project. Now, longtime viewers of the channel know that over the years we've experimented and slowly worked ourselves up to a point like this. A couple years ago we started buying a couple of kits and we assembled instruments from parts that had already been made for us. Then, more recently, I embarked on my very first from scratch building project. Now, if you want to check out any of that, click the link at the top. That'll take you to a playlist of that project. But it was during that whole process that I learned so many things. It was the first time trying to scavenge wood and use all the DIY tools and DIY methods. And at the end, we produced some moderately decent instruments. But the entire time I was thinking to myself, I'm learning so much. I would be carving the neck for the first time and learning, okay, I'm doing it now, but how could I do it better? Cutting out the body, routing out cavities, all of that stuff from the first process taught me so much, so I want to capitalize it. Today, we are going to try making an incredibly ambitious, customized instrument using all those lessons. Now, the overall purpose of this episode is I want to explain to you the single biggest lesson I learned last time, and I want to tell you how you can use that knowledge and use that tip to still make some very customized instruments. So first and foremost, I learned by the end of that process about the most important thing you can do at the start of a project is to get very good templates. And that's actually what you can see laid out for us today. Now, we certainly made our own custom templates last time and they worked moderately well, but I noticed later on in that process, if I just had a few more millimeters here or a few less millimeters there, things would have fit together better and it would have just turned out a better product. So I highly, highly recommend doing some of your own homework, and whatever project you're building, this is my tip. Find a template set that is close to what you want. And this is what I mean by that. I started doing my own research for this project and I landed on a website, not a sponsor. I just found a website, guitarbuildingtemplates.com, and I was thoroughly impressed. They had tons and dozens and dozens of options for electric guitars, bass guitars. And I knew in this project, I knew I wanted a 5-string bass and I wanted it to be 34-inch scale, but that was all. That was all I wanted the templates for. So you can see here, I ordered from their site the 5-string contemporary bass, whatever the title was, but it had those dimensions. It was a 34-inch scale. And you can see here it has a body cut out, but it has the electronics cavity, so I could come back and route out exact, really nice looking cavities in the body. But the single thing that I needed it for, the thing that I thought would really help this project, was the neck pocket. One of the biggest benefits of getting templates is that whoever is creating the templates has very carefully measured and cut out the fit. So this is the template that fits onto the eventual body style that you can use to cut out the neck pocket. Well, this neck pocket is perfectly fitted to the neck blank that they have in the same template set. So this really helped me get up and running when I needed to get that perfect fit. When you make the neck separately and you make the body separately, you get a perfect fit. Having good templates really helps. Now, another added benefit of this particular kit is that it came with a whole selection of pre-made pickup routes. Now, we are going to, like we've done in the past, we're going to make our own. We're going to custom design, custom 3D print our own pickups. But having the pickup templates come with the kit, even though I didn't have any particular need for them, I decided later on, why not just use the dimensions of some of these routes for my 3D printing? That way I already have a kit, a guide that I can use to make things faster down the road. So lots and lots of benefits of getting a template set. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, wait a minute, if you're using a template, how can you customize it? How can you make it unique to your own taste, your own vibe? Here's how. The only thing that I used these templates for were the profile, the actual shape of the neck, the scale and the shape of the neck pocket that I needed that neck to fit into the body, and the scale length. That was all I used. Now you can see the tips of the horns, the body, the angle of everything here, the width of the body. All of that stuff is cosmetic. So as we're going to talk about now, we're going to switch gears. The second part of this video is I want to explain how I went from this template set to the eventual body that we used. Now, I mentioned before that we really kind of have a fondness here at the channel for making use of materials that are inexpensive, accessible, that kind of stuff. So you can see here in this picture, I was able to find some unused plywood sheets from where I work. There was a long time ago, the entire facility put in a bulk order for some desks. And when all the desks arrived, they were installed. But after the installation, there were lots and lots of leftover shelf pieces or extra parts that sat in a store closet for years. Nobody's using it, so this was scrap lumber. So I asked if I could have a few, and they said, please, by all means, take them off our hands. So from that, I used those strips, and you can see here in this time lapse, we did our normal process. I cut them into long strips. Those long strips were measured to be the thickness of what I wanted the body size to be. And then after cutting them into strips, you can see here, all I did was I ran them through my planer just a little bit. I wanted to skin off or grind off just that little plastic veneer that covers this plywood. And what that ends up giving me now are strips. Just like this. I have these strips cut down. Now you can see on the profile here, they are the plywood strips. So, not by no means, this is not like high quality, mahogany, maple lumber that you're going to get from a custom shop. This is just what I have access to. Now, the benefit of doing this, you can also see I cut them down into the strips, the length, and I start to just combine them, line them all up like this, one after the other to build up, and I glue all of them. You can see here in this picture, I do half at a time, so I get out all my clamps, glue together all these strips, and when everything is said and done, you can build up an entire blank, piece of wood to then use your template on. So I have my blank piece of wood, and you can see that onto that wood, I now bring this template. So I laid down this template, and I used the center line, I used the scale marking, and I started just by sketching out just the sketch of this template. Now I don't want it to look like this in the end, but I started there. I then, put all these markings on it. Where should the bridge be? Where's the center line? I even came back and accentuated the neck pocket. Then I started getting creative. I started sketching out. I wanted this to ultimately be a single cut style. So a single cut just means usually this bigger, the horn that's on the top, if you're holding it to play, the horn on the top, if you connect it back or extend it so that it comes back around and touches or connects up to the neck, then this bottom one is the cutout one cutout, single cut. So I like that aesthetic. I've seen other instruments like that. So I sketched out the angle and the shape that I wanted. And then I changed the size and point of this. I changed a little bit of the body dimensions to really get it cosmetically to look like I wanted to while retaining all of the pieces and parts, which you can see here. That allowed me to get this sketch, which I was now able to ultimately cut out and use as my body blank. So, without further ado, when everything is said and done, here is what we ended up with. You can see that this is the body that came from this template. And hopefully on first inspection you can see they don't look very much alike. Well, they don't look alike cosmetically, but you can see here that neck pocket, which is all taped up and ready for painting. The neck pocket is exactly the size and dimensions of the guide that came with this kit. Also, the location down here where the bridge is, all of these screw holes, this line is where we had the line from the kit. So that gives me my scale length. This neck pocket gives me exactly the size of the neck that we made to go with this. But everything else is cosmetically up to us. I was able to kind of come up here, get a hard angle over, and then this curves up and will connect up to the neck. Also, we said before, those pickup guides, I came back and I was able to use the pickup guide that came here to carve out these routes for where the pickups are going. Then we can just come back and whatever we want the controls to look like, where the bridge can go. On the back side, I carved in some comfort cuts. You know, there's the belly cut for this. Also used the electronics cavity template kit to, whoops, like that, to really have a nice looking template. And so all of that was able to be done just with the same template kit that we had. So at the end of all of this, you certainly can get your own custom project started by using a well-designed, well-made template kit for this. Well, I hope you got something out of today's episode, and I hope you're excited to see us as we work through this project and all of the other cool ideas I've got for this build. So, as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, play on, my friends, play on.